And we're on. Game on, everybody. We have the third place decider, Washed France, going up against Go Next. And I added a couple of colors to my face today. I woke up this morning and realized that a few of the bruises are coming out real nice. A little bit more of a stronger color. I like it. The eye is nicely framed where the sunglasses hit it. So there's two stories. You guys can decide which one you actually believe the most, especially everybody that is currently watching this on YouTube. So story number one is I crashed with a bike and I was trying to protect my helmet, so I decided to buffer the fall with my face, saved the helmet, unfortunately ruined the sunglasses, and colored my face in a little bit. Story number two, which many people think is the more likely one, is that someone in a bar that I went to started to claim that Brightwing is the best hero in the game and that debilitation on level 16 for Nubarak is actually useful, and I couldn't help myself. I was just beat the shit out of them. There were 4 of them and one of them got a lucky punch in just as I hit the final blow, so it's a bit of a toss-up. It's a toss-up. It's your choice really what really happened there. But I mean, either way, Battlefield of Eternity in our third place decider today is the first map, and we have Go Next going up against Washed France as said before. So there's a couple of Frenchies on both sides actually in this one. So the baguettes and the sausages are currently united. To be absolutely honest, I don't know how many other nationalities we have in this game. We have a couple of Germans in there, so hence the sausages. And a couple of baguettes as well. Pretty good combination, by the way, if you never tried it. I would recommend a little bit of a sauce. No ketchup, maybe. If you are in the mayonnaise, you can get that too, but yeah. So Vala gets banned out, and we also have Alarak banned. We have Junkrat and Whitemane both allowed. So both of the heroes have received a rework and are both allowed right now. Gotta be completely honest, haven't really looked too much into the rework just yet. Blizzard changed a few things from the PTR, so made slight adjustments to the heroes as they hit the live server, earlier today actually. But I was still busy trying to make myself pretty. As you can see, it didn't really work. I mean, I usually try that every stream, and I fail normally too. I thought with a bit more color in my face, today I might have a chance to just like color the lines in a little bit better. Didn't quite work out that way, so yeah, we're gonna go for the clown fashion today. Hanzo immediately picked from HeroesHype. And by the way, since this is for some reason always a question, HeroesHype is Dennis Schneider. That's his real name, for everybody that might not know that. And he is listed as Dennis Schneider in here because he's actually one of my real ID friends, since I've known that shit kid for 18 years or something like that now. So yeah, with that, that's why the name here is a little bit different. So if you didn't know that, learn something today. That's why you come here to the channel, not for the amazing Heroes of the Storm, not for the new makeup that I'm inventing here right now, which is going to trend next week in Spain. No, you come here for the hard-hitting facts around the way that Heroes of the Storm works. So, Garrosh picked and also Liming on the other side. I mean, with Battlefield, honestly, considering who we have on both sides, I could have seen one of the two trying to go into a bit of a Tracer build here, which is not the case. We have Blaze for the offlane and Johanna now taken too. But it's still a little bit surprising to me that so far we haven't seen anyone go into supports. We saw yesterday how much of a priority Malfurion actually is. So he was an early ban, a super early pick, and then Rhaegar came in as a close second in pretty much every single series that we had. In this one so far, the heroes get completely ignored, and Malfurion in particular has currently not gotten any attention whatsoever. The Panda is, by the way, in too. So, ooh, someone is getting cocky. Oh, we're so much better than these shitters on the other side. We don't need bans, boys. We don't need bans. So, Go Next apparently with a bit of a blunder, not locking in a hero there. And yeah, let's see what we're gonna have from Washed France, what they're gonna do with this. What are we gonna have from them? What do you ban out here? Finally, support ban? Yes, support ban. Rhaegar has obviously the tools to get those camps a little bit quicker and also dish additional damage out to the Immortal itself. So he gets currently taken off the board, which leaves still Malfurion. And that already tells you that Washed France isn't even really thinking about Malf at this point. I mean, Tyrande obviously is still quite powerful here. Yes, there were a couple of changes with the level 7 move over to to talent level 16. So that is a bit of problematic sometimes, and it has reduced their power level in the early stages, but still. And it's hammer time, baby! Oh yeah! You can't give the hammer to the Germans. That's a lesson that they learned the hard way in previous tournaments. So Hazo doesn't get the Sergeant this time, but they lock him down. They have a little bit of a safety net with Garrosh, who can just like throw opponents away, so that should work out. And that would make it an interesting game here. But we have a blind in the form of Johanna. We have a couple of stuns, of course, too. And do they have maybe someone who can also play mages on a level that they... Oh, there's the Tracer. Told you! There's my Tracer and the Crybaby. Anduin gets picked too. The Nick Carter of Heroes of the Storm gets picked immediately. Like, some of the reasons why we actually have these breaks all the time during the games is because if Anduin is on the board, he needs that much time in front of the mirror to fix his hair. I wasn't supposed to tell you that. That's one of the secrets that Blizzard asked us to keep. Actually signed an NDA for that, but yeah, it's really Anduin just fixing his hair all the time. So look at Malfurion, he doesn't give a shit. Game number 1, Washed France against Go Next. And on the left side, we have Hazorps on Hanzo for the blue team, Banana H on Anduin, Dequaza on Blaze, Masquerade on Johanna, and Nick is playing Tracer in our first game. Over to the right side, Death Knight on Thrall for Go Next. Ultralisk, who apparently is German as well, is playing Sergeant Hammer. So the Germans, again, with their Panzers. That, by the way, is such a weird switch from German into English. It doesn't really work. Like the pronunciation is just always off. If you go for the German word, it sounds weird. If you go for the more English pronunciation, it sounds weird too. It's just a lost cause. I always try and never works out. Sky on Malfurion, Kelvin on Liming, and Skok on Garrosh. As we have, in terms of builds, well, first of all, Echo of Elements. Thrall at the top lane is already hiding behind the wall. He already knows what's coming his way, especially since nobody has seen Nick on the map just yet. He knows there's a good chance that Nick is hiding somewhere waiting for him. Ultralisk is currently sitting at the bottom of the map. I could have totally seen that they would go into a mage against Sergeant Hammer, which we sometimes saw in the past. Gul'dan, for example, from Mena against the Sergeant was actually really good as well. But yeah, we'll actually see how this is going to work out for them right now. I mean, either way, what else are we currently having here? There's already 2 stacks of Echo of Elements. We're having it built straight into the scatter arrows on the side of Hanzo. Still the 2 players top side. Especially, of course, against Tracer. Sergeant Hammer is a pretty interesting pick. It's kind of interesting if you think about it. Hammer was picked before Tracer was. And Nick just said, yeah, that's fine regardless. I mean, again, this is not a game where you have like hard counters in the sense that with a draft pick you all of a sudden ruin your opponent's entire game. Yes, every now and then in a blue moon that can actually happen, that you counter someone's strategy quite nicely. But this is not a rock, paper, scissors setup where just because you pick a good auto attacker, Tracer's all of a sudden useless. It's definitely going to make Nick's plays a little bit more difficult when he has to go into a sustained fight. But outside of that, he can still make big plays here, especially against the squishies, Malfurion and Liming, for example. And at this point, the blue team is getting quite a fair amount of value at the bottom of the map, at least. Blaze even started a rotation, so he was ready to help out in case there was something happening. At the same point now, once more, there's a little setup at the bottom of the map with a 4 versus 4 now. But Tracer is slowly starting to go topside again. And those, Skok actually does a really good job getting the stacks together on his level 1. I mean, 7 so far for him. Had a couple of really nice connects that we saw from him. But let's see. Top side, obviously they're going to go for an additional camp. That's one of the main reasons why Tracer rotated there in the first place. The blue team got the camp at the bottom of the map and was also able now to get the one at the top. So full on mercenary control for them. Which is pretty important actually if you're playing on the map like this. So now we're having the level 4 talents coming in, therefore of course the siege tactics. We've seen Chris actually and some others going into some different talents, more so looking at the sustain than anything else. Not so in this game though. But with level 4 coming in, we're also getting outside of that the Parting Gift and the Serrated Arrows, and especially those are of course important on Battlefield of Eternity. The value against the Immortal is quite powerful. Having on the other side now though the Dominance pick from Liming, so looking for the aggressive Calamity placement later on. And let's see who this is going to benefit in this game then. Let's see how much Liming can do. But for now we're having the aggression against Ultralisk here. And the Panzer already on the run. It's a weird word in English commentary, it's just kind of strange. It's a little bit of German tank play here. And it's kind of funny that they're going up against a mainly French team, so yep, there we go. Hammer in general can just be super annoying in any of these games, but the blinds keep coming. Masquerade is trying to make sure that Ultralis doesn't get too much damage in against the Immortal, but it's still a halftime show that we see from the two teams with, well, really not too much happening here right now. So at this point, there is another quick attack against the red team's Immortal, and the red team is just too late. That rotation is way too late. I mean, damn son, they are getting completely wrecked on the second half of the objective, and that is that. So the first objective goes to Washed France, as the baguettes, the sausage baguettes over there, are trying to make their play at the bottom lane. Because up to the top, you already had a tower taken down in the gate. The Immortal always goes to the lane that has been pushed the least, and therefore it finds itself at the bottom right now. But yeah, Masquerade with another quick blind here against Hammer. Alright, Skog still sitting at the side here. Gets found out by Azorps. Nicely done. Double checking, and with Hammer already behind the gate, they have an easy time taking this down. Towards the top, on the other hand, another gate has been broken through, and they're going to try to go for that, well, for the fountain at least. Bottom of the map, on the other hand, there's the attack as well. Now Thrall is in a bit more trouble all the way up at the top. Blaze is coming in to help him out, so we have actually two fights happening around the map. But at this point, the gates are gone, the health fountains are also taken down, which leaves the two forts, but, well, actually, this one is still in. They didn't take that. Alright, so that's a little bit of a setback. They were hoping to get a kill there, which obviously didn't happen. We have still 0 kills, by the way. Not a single kill in this game so far. Once again, there's the cleanse on Kelvin with a Nature's Cure. Oh, but that's a kill. Nick goes in deep and gets the bomb connected with Li Ming. That's him eliminating that right away. Hazu already with a jump down to the bottom. They want to go for another mercenary camp. Having the camp control here throughout the entire game is obviously going to benefit their cause quite nicely. They have 1 kill so far. They took the walls down. Half level lead for them at this point. Pretty solid option here. Really well done by them. Builds pretty much what you would expect here. I mean, I guess with Hanzo you can obviously go into a multitude of builds on this map, but if you are focusing on the Immortal pressure, then going into a Scatter Arrow build is always beneficial here. With this, we're also now seeing Ancestral Wrath and Thrall, which is just the go-to talent on level 7. I mean, there is just no other talent on this level, seriously. If you are playing on any meaningful level outside of Plastic League, you should always go for that. Always shocks me a little bit when I see players go for follow-through. Not even the pros do that, and they have the mechanics to pull that off. But then you look at casual players, and they for some reason think that they have the insane mechanics, that they can get some value out of follow-through that eclipses the value you would get out of Ancestral Wrath, which is just impossible. Especially if you are lacking the mechanics to pull that off, and anybody that is outside of high former pro level lacks those mechanics for sure. Either way, now with half a level left for level 10, Washed France is in a very, very solid position here and has now taken aim towards the top fort again with the mercenary camp that they just took topside. And as the Immortal is down, they're going for the attack immediately. With level 10 so close, there's very little chances for Go Next to play around this. I mean, they're hoping to get the experience here, I guess. But they can't go into a defensive position here. I mean, what are they going to defend? Time is working in favor of their opponent, so as more and more minion waves that's eliminated by the blue team, they get their level 10, and there we go. With that, we're now having also the light bomb. So they can play with Tracer and the light bomb setup. And they get an easy grab at the halftime show. Still a little bit of experience left for the red team before they can rely on their heroics too. So this isn't really looking good for Mortal number 2. Not at all. I mean, all that they have to do is just burn this down right now. Johanna is again just trying to blind Hammer a little bit. And there we go. Nope. Get the hell away from my damage dealer. That's pretty much what Garrosh is pulling here. But they at least reduce it to 50%. I am gonna be honest with you, this is more than I expected them to get. So it's again 50% on the shields, and at least they have level 10 for the defense now. That's something. It's better than nothing. Level 10 abilities now come in. With that we also have the BFG, the blunt force gun. Despite what you might think here, and despite all the PC action that we're seeing in the US, BFG actually stands for Big Fucking Gun, in case that you guys didn't know. If Duke Nukem taught us one thing, then it's definitely that, and that obviously goes for every single other game that came out of that area, talking Quake, talking, yeah, pretty much anything else there. So, Doom of course too. So, yep, there's a little bit of gaming history for you right there. But with that said, at this point, they need a big fucking gun in order to come back from this one, because they just lost their fort and they are already losing that entire wall at the bottom. So it's a bit problematic. Deathlight is coming in from the side. And where's my Earthquake? There we go. The BFG didn't do enough for them, but they're trying, of course, to get at least a kill here. The problem is that the bunker was already on the ground. There's the Blessed Shield from Masquerade. And he's getting thrown in again. And it's bunker time. I don't think he's gonna... Oh, Banana Age! Oh boy, that was glorious. Every single time you think there's a kill for sure, Anduin comes along and says, not on my watch, baby. But Tracer goes down again. So with that, we're now having also Quasar eliminated. Yeah, so far so good. I mean, again, just generally speaking, they're currently doing pretty well here, the blue team, even though they lost now one hero. But they put damage onto the keep itself, and that is actually quite nice. Alright, let's see what else we're going to get with this. I mean, for the time being, what else do we have now? A little bit more pressure from Hammer, but that's pretty much that. Alright, so looking at the damage output, by the way, we have 19,000 on Sergeant Hammer right now, 23 with the arrow. And talking arrow, Hanzo is getting value here. They want the kill, but Tracer falls as Li Ming says no. Malfurion drops as the counter kill comes through, but Garrosh has survived through all of this. Nick now dying for the second time. He came, he saw, and he died again. Veni Vidi Rup. And that was a little bit unfortunate for him, but he is still starting to deliver at least a bit of poke. But you look at the damage output, and 7,500 isn't quite there. Nick was able to get a few kills through a bomb connect earlier, but he is having a little bit more of a tougher time at this point. So, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for them. Either way, currently we have 22,000 for Sergeant Hammer. The next Immortal is spawning too. 13 talents should be ready for both of the teams by the time that happens. Quasar, yeah, he's in trouble. Has the bunker still up and has his quest completed on level 1, so he gets the unstoppable frames. But now he's in trouble, and here comes the attack immediately as Nick is looking for another victim. Gets the kill, has to move out though. Is low, but far away from Li Ming. The kill. The kill as Thrall comes in together with Garrosh and they take down Blaze and Tracer. Nicely done by Go Next. You gotta give them some credit here. The early game wasn't looking good for them, but now they're starting to come completely back into this. So very, very well done. And that should give them Immortal number 1. Well, third one in the game, first one for them if they actually claim it. Thrall now also with the Spirit Shield is going to be a little bit safer, especially against the Tracer Bomb, but obviously there's a lot more spell damage coming through this. Yeah, they're still making sure that the bot lane is not going down. They need someone to catch that experience here too. This is actually going to become a little bit more problematic than I expected, because while this is happening, we're still seeing the fight for the Immortal, and it is actually a beneficial situation for the blue team right now. Tracer on the other hand, with the recall again, Nick barely surviving, but survive he does. The problem is that the pressure on the keep towards the bot lane is now starting to really drop the hit points, and Go Next is actually running the risk of losing it. They're heavily fighting back because they know they need to do something if they want to have a chance to come back into this game. But it's definitely tough going for them now. Bot lane, another wave is already coming in. And this time a catapult is also part of the fun. Harzob's is getting a little bit wrecked here. Blessed Shield comes in. Light Bomb together with Tracer going into the back for Sky. And the kill against Malfurion. Malf down, and that's the end of Garrosh. Both of them eliminated. Kelvin is running out of mana here, but wants to at least get the kill against Quasar, and he gets it. That's at least something for him. But here at the bottom of the map, they need to deal with this, and just in time. I mean, seriously, if this wave is down thanks to the catapult, the keep falls. But now with the Immortal in their hands, there's a solid chance that the blue team is going to be able to drop a keep after all. So they're gonna go straight in for that. Top side, that's where we're pushing this time. 16 talents, of course, would be a huge beneficial advantage for Washed France if they actually are able to get towards that, but they're a little bit far away. Maybe if someone rotated bot lane, they could go for it, but they want to have the 5-man at the top. You can't really blame them there. I mean, the fort should be easy. If they can get a kill here, that would be even better. But we'll see how that works out. There we go, there's a taunt. Not enough. I actually think they are going to be able to save their keep here quite nicely. Light Bomb play again. Bomb comes through. Ultralisk eats a lot of damage, but he doesn't fall. A little bit of slow is still there, and Blaze connects the stun. And that might be the end of Garrosh, but nope, comes back in, heals himself, and is able to walk past. They're doing well under pressure here. Gotta give them some credit for that. Considering how deep we are in the game, this could definitely have led to a first destroyed keep. But now that they're taking this down, there's the BFG with a little bit of damage. Banana H gets stunned, gets attacked, and might fall here. Anduin is down. Nick is also on the run. And as the game continues, Go Next is looking better and better and better in these team fights. The problem for them, obviously, is looking good in the fights is one thing, getting a couple of kills in is also nice, but if you're unable to win the objective and put any serious pressure onto the structures, then in the long run, you're just going to lose the game. So they definitely have to play around it now. 16 talents are ready on both sides. That's also great for Thrall, who likely goes into the Thunderstorm now. And besides that, we're now having also Mirror Ball taken. There's the Giant Killer, and no Thunderstorm, Alpha Wolf. Okay, fair enough. With Echo of Elements, could have totally seen that, but yep, without the level 4, without the Frost Wolf pack, they go for that, and Thrall just died to the fort. Oh my god. Go Next, not able to take down a single fort here, even with the kills that they got, or with the push that we had there. Now we're having again the attack against Garrosh. He's about to go down. The arrow gets dodged. Ultralisk survives for a moment. Tracer is dead again, but it might be the end of Sergeant Hammer too. Tranquility and the kill. Hazob's not hesitating. Goes in and gets a quick shot connected. Anduin, by the way, as we're talking about this in terms of his build, focusing heavily on the Divine Star, Moral Compass, Speed of the Pious, and the Holy Nova, all taken by him. In terms of the build setup. Anduin's build definitely changed a little bit from the past. But a couple of unfortunate moves here. First, the kill against Thrall, that definitely wasn't helpful. Especially since it was actually the fort that took him down. And then on the retreat, they're losing several more. But as you can tell, Nick is having a pretty rough game. 27,000 damage on Tracer, less than Johanna. That's not really a whole lot, ladies. That's actually not a whole lot. For Tracer, that's definitely not enough in this case, and with 4 deaths, Nick is suffering severely from post-traumatic hammer syndrome. Because those auto attacks are starting to hit a lot harder, especially with Giant Killer now in. Of course, the front line is affected by that too. But every single time we have these fights, Li Ming comes in, gets serious damage out there. 40,000 for her, taking the top damage even in this situation on the side of the red team. Kelvin is doing a great job with that. They're trying to go for the Immortal, but they're already falling behind. They have a huge problem when it comes to Immortal pressure, and that just continues. They need to win these fights as the objective is up and then get some value. Double connect, and the kill against Malfurion. There goes Thrall. That's an easy double kill for the blue team. Skok is also in trouble, and there's the bomb again. Another connect against Sergeant Hammer as they're trying to get another kill against Ultralisk, who might actually be able to get away from this one. Ooh, and just as I say it, Hazu comes in and says, nope, not on my watch. And they're going for the bottom keep. They might go for more. Only Li Ming is there. She is dangerous in these situations because of the reset mechanic. But still, everybody else is down for at least another 20 seconds. And they have the wave clear. They have a catapult coming in. Hanzo is the one still going for the Immortal. And it doesn't seem like Kelvin can really do too much here. He's going to maybe try, but things are not looking pretty for them. 1 against 4 ain't happening, and now we're having the top keep also under pressure, and at the same time the Immortal is taken. That is lights out as we have game number 1 ending in favor of the blue team. Washed France, they want another kill against Thrall, and they get it just as the core explode, and that's the lead in the 3rd place decide of the HeroesHype tournament. Game number 2. Tomb of the Spider Queen. Washed France in the lead against Go Next. I gotta say, when it comes to team fights, they weren't looking too bad. It was just like the inability to ever get the objective in this game. And when they finally got a couple of kills to push structures down, that was a huge problem for them. Now we're in Tomb of the Spider Queen, which can be kind of snowbally. Nick probably gonna go into a different hero here, or he will get a little bit more support for his Tracer plays, because the last game was not really the best one for that. So ETC gets banned out again. Ban against him. No more beef. Yeah, with all that artificial meat coming through right now, ETC is just not really needed all that more. It's also one of the reasons why the piggy bank is slowly disappearing from Heroes of the Storm. It's just a sad truth right there. The impossible burgers, ladies and gentlemen. Never had one, I gotta admit. So, I'm actually looking forward to when they have that somewhere in the area so I can try that. Because I at least agree with that once, that this artificial meat is at least as healthy as real meat and tastes the same. There's no real reason anymore to go for real meat any longer. Again, always if those two things, those two points are checked. But yeah, I would really love to try it. Like, it's a pretty interesting field, to be honest, if you follow that a little bit. But either way, right now I'm still preferring my burger with a little bit of real spicy meat. But now we're having actually Tracer banned out. And talking about bans, after Alarok, what else are we gonna get rid of in Tomb of the Spider Queen? Are we finally have to focus on the supports again? Not quite, but Medivh, a bit of a semi-support, gets eliminated. Where's my Malf when I need it? Malfurion picked such a high priority in the previous games, but we have Chen Death Knight. He's pandering it up a little bit. Okay, so now we go for the Panda. It's finally time. But yeah, this is actually one of the moments when your backline is already starting to become quite afraid, because if you have the triple Panda and you unleash them into the backline, the cuteness factor is so unbelievably high that a lot of the heroes just break down crying and then are easy pickings for the rest of the team. There's the Blaze and Johanna setup again. They actually already locked that in the previous game pretty early, so they really seem to like that hero composition. And I can't really blame them. I mean, it's a great setup. You have a lot of wave clear through your tanks alone. There's a lot of sustainability that comes with that. A good stun setup from Johanna. Blaze can follow up on it too. So it's a pretty powerful combo, but they really seem to believe that this is a hugely impactful one, so that they sacrifice other picks that you would normally see first. So, let's see. Auriel and Gul'dan. Okay. I mean, Auriel has also received a bit of a rework, so actually with Auriel you want to be more part of the action right now. Whereas previously it was all about the battery and where you could apply your trade so that we would get the hope and the energy there. But now Auriel is benefiting a lot from participating in these fights a little bit more. That's what Blizzard was aiming for with the pick. And it's actually kind of nice to see Auriel a little bit. I casted a couple of the North American games just recently, and that was interesting for sure. A couple of those support players over there, they definitely know to handle Auriel's whip, I can tell you that much. Yeah, NA has always been a little bit kinky that way. There's the Vala ban on the other hand. Yeah, if Auriel is on the other side, Vala is definitely one of the heroes you normally don't want to be paired off with her. That's actually one of the weird ones, because I could have totally seen that they pick Vala over Gul'dan. There's a Chromie ban. Chromie is also being played a little bit more lately. But yeah, what else are we getting with this? We need still the damage, and Hazo and Nick haven't really played. That could be a Karrigan pick again. It depends a little bit on damage, but Nick has been playing a lot of Karrigan, and this is one of the maps where he first busted it out. If they want to go into a triple setup, they could go Karrigan here, but it also means that Hanzo is coming in. That could be a Karrigan. Yeah. That would actually not necessarily be a bad pick for them. They have Hanzo for the backline damage and the interrupts here. If they really want to go for a lot of CC, then they can definitely play that game right now. But let's see first what Go Next is going to add in the last two picks for themselves here. And again, Whitemane and Junkrat after the rework are both allowed, but so far have been ignored thus far. There's the Tyrael pick. Okay, that helps a little bit. And Reyna for the auto attacks. Yeah, you can't get Vala, you go for Reyna in this case. I mean, obviously Vala adds a little bit more with a lot of the abilities that she has, but the question that I simply have is, are we going to see a Karrigan, yes or no? Nick played it a lot. Is that another opportunity for him, or was the last time just simply the flavor of the day where they said, okay, this actually feels good for us right now? But with Jimmy, there's a couple of tools against it, and we see Kira this time! Alright, we don't see her a lot. This is actually the third time that Kira gets played, but we have Kira in the game. Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 in the best of 3 series, here the third place decider. Game on, everybody! Tomb of the Spider Queen, Hazorps on Hanzo. We're currently having Banana H on Rega, Nick on Kira, and Dayquaza on Blaze with Masquerade on Johanna. On the right side of the map, Khaldor on Gul'dan, Sky on Oriel, Ultralisk on Reyna, Death Knight on Chen, and Skok on Tyrael. Yeah, Ultralisk pretty much trading in Sergeant Hammer for Reyna. It's still an auto-attacker for them. So let's see what we're having. When it comes to the wave clear, the Johanna and Blaze setup is obviously fantastic for the wave clear. In addition to that, you have Rega with a lightning shield. I mean, we're having actually a ton of wave clear. You just look at every single hero that is on that side, and pretty much everybody can contribute quite a bit to that. Level 1 for Kira in this case is the Fatal Wounds again. That's actually a priority that we've seen throughout all of the Kira games that we had so far. And again, Kira isn't getting played a lot in the competitive scene. We've seen her 2 times now. She has a 100% win ratio, but is very, very rarely picked. And you could make the argument that in the cases where she was picked, there was a clear favorite in these games. I would actually add this game to it too. Washed France is just a massive favorite heading into a series against Go Next. So we'll see how well Kira can perform here, but either way, she's obviously going to have an impact one way or the other. With the wave clear argument that I just brought in, by the way, we have also quite a lot on the side of the red team, but it doesn't really quite measure up to what we're seeing from the blue team here. Especially tanks like Tyrael, of course, can't keep up with Johanna when it comes to clearing waves, but you have Gul'dan on that side at least, and in addition to that, also Chen was a bit more AoE that he can bring to the table. Sitting at the bottom of the map right now as we have both of the teams just adding rotations, trying to get a few of the gems together, and then playing their little game with the turn-ins. But I like the setup from Washed France a lot, actually. Kira is always like a pick where I'm not 100% certain. Think about her. I would have loved to see a Kerrigan here. But Kira can be quite impactful, which Ty from Granite Gaming has shown now multiple times. But the setup is actually a strong one. You have a lot of defense at the front. Hazorps should have a lot of freedom to really get the damage through with Hanzo. And then you have also Nick as the additional factor here at the side, especially once the level 10 comes in to get a couple of kills in too. So that's a really nice setup for them. There's already an attack towards the Siege Giants. And this is normally what you see teams fight over in the early stage of the game. Whenever you see a team that actually misses heroes on the map, they are normally down at the bottom trying to get the camp here. And this is exactly why Washed France rotated in, and here comes the fight. Nick is a little bit low and has to be careful now. Gets the heal. They're trying to turn it against Tyrael, but Nick goes down as the Panda jumps feet first straight into the face of Kira. Drops her right there, and that's a camp secured for them now too. So yeah, double win for them. Win-win situation. They get the kill, they get the camp, they have the experience, and they have level 4. Nicely done. Looking for a little bit more here, and Masquerade goes down. Banana H gets pinged. Support in this case is not really contributing too much here. Upstage now, after we've seen the Fatal Wounds on level 1, gets paid for Kira, and the bot lane is heavily assailed. It's like, damn, they really want to go for that. Kira comes in from behind, tries to go for Oriel. That didn't quite work out. Has the mobility. Banana H got interrupted again. He's just sitting there like, boys, I need mana. I need mana. And is trying to rush out there. But the wall is falling. Kudos. Go next. They want to go next. They want to make sure that there is a next game, as the name already implies. Because if they would lose here, it would obviously mean the out in the tournament. But let's see. Jimmy, in the meantime, ace in the hole on level 1. A couple of slows for sure. Plus, in addition to that, we're now seeing him with a fight or flight. Good talent there for him too. Again, rotation between the mid and the top lane to get the additional wave clear and the gems through. And when it comes to the gems, they haven't really lost a whole lot. Washed France, that is. They actually still have pretty much all the gems. Like, the kills that came through didn't lose them anything. So at this point in time, both of the teams are getting closer and closer to making the first turn in a reality. They're also going both for the camp right now. Kira's still sitting bot side, but already a turn-in attempt from the blue team, who's currently sitting at 39 gems delivered, so only 11 shy of getting the first objective. Level 7 talent will be a bit quicker for Go Next, since they have the lead in the experience to those 2 kills earlier. And the timing of their camp is actually quite nice too, because the blue team doesn't have their own knights yet, so this is a perfect opportunity to push through another wall just before the web weavers are coming in. There's the whip straight into the face of Dayquaza. The attack against Gul'dan though, and he is down. Gul'dan is Gul'dan. As the hit comes in and Blaze delivers the final blow. There's level 7 now. Swift retribution on Tyrael. Plus, in addition to that, now also the unstable compound. But yeah, nicely done. And that could actually give them the first turn in here. Interrupts come through, but we're having still Quasar trying to deliver 7. Masquerade is sitting on 6, and that is gonna be the first spiders coming down right now. Yep, level 7 on both sides, which gives us, in this case, with the attack towards the top, also for Kira, the siphoning link. So yeah, a little bit more self-sustain that we're going to see from Kira in these plays when Nick is trying to make it happen, especially when he starts coming in from behind as he did earlier when he was trying to flank them there. That's a talent that can help him and takes the pressure off Rhaegar a little bit. So with that, here comes Skok once more. Tyrael, Masquerade! Oh! Masquerade is suffering on his Johanna there, but again, you have your trade, you have quite a little bit of tools that you can use when you're under pressure, but he's eating so much damage from Gul'dan in particular that is super annoying. So they're breaking through the middle and they're taking down the fountain, which is always one of the big goals that you should go for. Taking your opponent's sustain away on these lanes is just incredibly important and is going to make the game much more difficult for them. Bot lane, where there's only Chen, shouldn't really lose too much. That wall is nearly down. On the other hand, Ultralisk is suffering a little bit as they're driving a wedge between the remaining parts of the team here. And the defense isn't really too bad. I mean, one fountain is down, the walls have suffered too. They might be able to get a bit more down at the bottom of the map, but now that Ultralisk is moving in, it's a bit less likely. Oh, they really want the kill, don't they? And they might actually get it! Hazu comes in and they take him down. And that's also a few gems lost now, finally, for the red team. So actually a really nice move by the blue team. That means that Washed France is taking down the first fort. With that little flank here, zoning the opponent down, proxying the wave here at the back, that allowed them to push aggressively through the bottom, take the fort down, and that really changed the entire game now. If they wouldn't have been able to make that play, they would have walked away from the first objective with only gates taken apart and a few towers shredded. Which isn't bad in and of itself for the first objective, but it definitely doesn't compare to the situation that we're in right now, where they've taken a big lead in experience, have now their level 10 abilities, and Nick, currently at the bottom of the map, is also taking the camp for them. Went into the unrelenting strikes here. Okay, we've actually seen both ults for her in the past, and ooh, stuns everywhere, and that is another quick kill. And that's another set of gems lost. Guys, they are losing a lot right now. They are losing a huge amount of gems. I mean, just look at this. They are having only 44 gems in their possession. They turned 17 in already. You compare that to their opponent and you see a massive gap. And that's because of the 2 kills that we saw. The one against Reyna, the one against Tyrael. Huge problems now. Level 10 is ready for go next, but they are losing ground as we speak. And there is soon going to be another opportunity for Washed France to actually get a second turn in. So, yeah, that is very problematic to say the least, especially since Chen has to sit at the bot lane and deal with this situation here. Blaze is turning in though, 1 gem shy of completing it, and Rhaegar is the one who tries to complete it right now, and he should be able to make that happen without any problem whatsoever. So that is objective number 2. The Weep Weavers are coming down once again, looking good so far. So at this point, what else are we gonna have here? Nick is already moving in, sitting at the side here. Let's look at the damage, by the way. I haven't really focused on that too much yet. 29,000. Alright, where's Kira at? 14k for her. Same damage as Gul'dan right now. And jeez, they're taking that fort pretty much even before the web weavers are there. I mean, not quite, but they're closing in on it. Web weaver at the bot lane is obviously going to attack the keep very soon if they don't take care of it. And it is starting to get dicey and spicy here. Top side, Kira is doing her thing. Over here, that fort will fall. Death Knight with his 29 gems needs to be cautious too. If he dies as well, they are in trouble. And there comes the attack. Auriel already with the ult. There's a Sanctification on the ground. That at least helped. Unrelenting strikes from Kira also coming through. There's the Horrify, and that could possibly be the end of Blaze. But the bunker play is still there. Nice jet propulsion against 3. Skok is low. Masquerade gets pushed into the fort, which was still there with like 2 HP. And Johanna falls. They recover the gems. Web Weavers at the bot lane, still aggressive, opening the wall up. Top fort has fallen, and there's even more aggression against it. But damn, 3 kills against 3 now. And they're looking for Death Knight. Oh no! That's 29 gems down the drain! Oh boy. Yeah, that's a problem. You have to think about gems as your ticket back into the game when you fall behind. And in this case, that ticket has been shredded. Yeah, that ticket has been completely destroyed. That is more than a little bit unfortunate. With level 13 in their hands and a 5 versus 4 on the map, they go for the boss now too. This is starting to become a bit of an avalanche. We're not talking snowball here anymore. This is avalanche territory right there. The move through the top lane, potentially for the keep itself. They're probably going to double check if there's maybe a turn-in attempt down here at the bottom, since they obviously know that there's a chance that Go Next decides to trade a Web Weaver wave for a free defense, but it's not happening. So instead, the boss is actually left alone. 13 versus 13. Experience is obviously in favor of the blue team now. With level 13 talents, we're also seeing the enough to share. Another camp taken. They're actually going for 2 camps with an easy defense there. And yeah, they're just controlling the map for now. That keep has taken a bit of a beating. That's an easy grab later on in the game, so you need to be cautious with that. 4 kills against 3. Yep, there's a camp about to be taken by HeroesHype over to the right side. Needs a little bit of an assist, and Rhaegar is happy to oblige. Already on his way, as we're talking about it. But I really want to see like one of the bigger fights with the Panda also getting his ult through. I mean, so far we had a really nice stun composition against Death Knight in the last encounter with the jet propulsion and the blessed shield, the Hanzo arrow even on top of that too. So that didn't give him an opportunity there. But once that we're having the 3 Pandas jumping into the face of Hanzo or Rhaegar, that could be a problem for those. Up to the top, Skok is still playing it out with Nick, but they're playing it slow actually at this point. They can wait for level 16 for the big advantage. They're pushing the lane slightly. They can maybe even set something up at the bottom of the map if they find an opportunity here. That's not too bad at this point. But again, the little setup that we're seeing. With Death Knight moving in, but there's not enough stuns really to take him on just yet. But the red team wants to fight. They're looking for something. Kira isn't there yet. HeroesHype is on the run. But, yeah. Tyrael is retreating. And here comes the push again. Nice Auriel ult. Sanctification is in too, and Gul'dan is walking away. The Siege Giants are also taken down, which means that the forward bot side is still fine, unless they're aggressively pushing for it now, especially with a few heroes already showing up in the middle of the map, defending against the remainders of the Bruiser camp that was taken previously. But there's the slow poke against the gate in the middle. Yeah, they're trying to get a bit here too, and they can still escort that one catapult. Bit of a play. There's the commitment. Blessed shield. And they're not gonna get the kill, are they? No, 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 no. They got close, though. They got close, but the second stun was just missing. Horrify used, and Rhaegar... the self-ancestral keeps him alive. Death Knight with the ult here finally, just before he falls, goes for Rhaegar, and the doggy is, well, still alive. What? Doggy finally goes down. Can they get the counter kill? Nico with all the damage here. They go straight in, get the kill on Auriel, and they're going to wipe them off the floor, aren't they? Yeah, the only survivor is Chen. The Panda is on the run. And Hazu nearly got him. Oh, Hazu with a kill. A 5-man team wipe as Hazu comes in with the German efficiency and takes down the Panda power. Nicely played. The 1-0 is going to be extended to a 2-0 victory in just a moment. The shields are falling, and Go Next with 9 kills against 4 is currently getting eliminated. What a final fight we just saw. Absolute incredible coordination from Washed France, and they just murdered it. And especially, of course, Hazu then with a final blow against the Panda, sealing the deal as the core goes down and Washed France takes a 3rd place in the tournament. Well done, GG, and well played.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.